Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. We are getting into some more Halo 5 Guardians. So this is a very intriguing game to play, guys, and to see your comments on. I gotta be honest, at the time of this recording, part 1 has been uploaded. I've read you guys' comments. I've seen some of your feedback on what this game offers. I have not uploaded part 2 yet, and so the things that I've mentioned and discussed in that part are not necessarily up to date as far as your guys' comments and your information regarding some background stuff and some context and whatnot. So reading over your guys' stuff before we get into part 3 here, as far as what you gave me from part 1. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on in this game that is apparently omitted as far as the information and like the background context, right? That it's explained in material outside of Halo 5, which I kind of figured getting into this. The problem is where I'm at now is that the things that I looked up and I watched and whatnot, thinking would give me some context, actually did not. And really what the information comes down to is things like from the books and from comics and stuff like that, which is interesting. And I'm intrigued to get into material like that. It's just I don't have that readily available, and I don't want to look up anything in case I get things that are going to be explained naturally in the story, which is really what this boils down to as far as the jump from Halo 4 into Halo 5, what happened in between, and what information you guys are giving me as far as what happened during that time that's not explained in Halo 5, either at all or at least not yet. And so getting into part 3 here, which I figure at this point is about halfway through the game. I know we're getting into this location where I believe Cortana may be at, and so it's possible then that the Master Chief and her will like meet up and some things will be explained. I'm kind of hoping for that. Based on your guys' feedback, it sounds like those kinds of things might not happen in this campaign. That it relies on you knowing things from, books or comics or whatever extra kind of material, right? Which sucks because I don't have that. And at this point, I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to look into it until I'm done with the game, basically. And so, with that being said, I'm not really sure about my interest or like the direction of what this game gives as far as anything like motivation, characters, basic plot points and stuff like that. Like, I'm going along with the ride. I'm trying to have fun with it. I gotta say, like, I'll reiterate this many times over probably, that I think Halo 5's gameplay loop is fantastic. It's just the story stuff is really what's throwing me off, and I don't think that that's going to be corrected anytime soon, basically until the game is over and I feel comfortable looking up things, online or whatever, and trying to get some of that supplemental information. I trust that it's out there and that it does a good job of explaining these things. I believe you guys when you say that. And for what you've given me from the comments thus far, it's actually interesting, tidbits, right? Things like, Miranda's mother being Dr. Halsey, that's an interesting idea. Explaining a little bit where Buck came from. Like, those are good pieces of information that help give context. But the thing is they're not integral to the story. And that's really kind of my frustration is a strong word, but that's kind of the thing that irks me a little bit with Halo 5. Is that, like I said in the last part, it's not explaining itself. Halo 5 is not telling a story. It's telling you things that are happening as a direct consequence of things that are not part of the games. And that's a little bit odd. That's a strange way to tell a story. And so if that's really what the case is here, which I believe it is, I don't know how much I'm going to get from the remainder of Halo 5. With that being said, we're going to get into it here. And I'm going to do my best with it. So just bear with me on that. All right, let's jump into it.
There have been 5 more events following Meridian. It's 11 colonies. I need a means to stop.
All right, so getting back into it here then.
Dr. Halsey's theory. Cortana is activating the Guardians. Not this one.
Okay.
Not yet. Sanion, a pre-covenant religious site on Sanghelios.
It's a guardian on the elite homeworld?
If we can get a team on the ground, we can access that guardian.
Oh, and I remember what they were getting at here. Okay, I'm gonna skip this. So they were gonna go to this place, activate the Guardian on their own, and then use it as a means of getting to, I think, where we're at now, right, with the chief, and basically kind of use the Guardian, its natural process of activating as a means of tracking down where he's at, right? I think is what they were getting at. So here we are now.
What's Cortana up to, Chief? Why'd she bring us here?
How the fuck should I know, Fred? That's kind of the problem. All right. Back at it.
Where are we?
No comm traffic on any band. No long-range uplinks at all. Long way from nowhere, then.
We were brought to this location for a reason. Search ahead. The console lit up as I approached.
What was that? It came from the console.
How many years has it been since we used that signal?
Well, good thing Chief knows how to use it, because I sure as hell wouldn't have figured that out.
Cortana, do you read?
No response. What is this place? Forerunner planet. Beyond that, who knows?
Wherever we are, Cortana brought us here.
Well, it's fascinating to me.
Somewhere.
Chief, back on Meridian. There was a lot of destruction. There were civilians.
I know.
She may not have known what would happen. And if she did,
We'll learn what's going on once we find her.
this place is
Oh,
incredible.
we'd better.
Gives me the creeps.
Bio readings are unlike anything we've previously recorded. There's a formalness and precision to it all. It seems artificial, but still organic. Halsey would have already started taking samples.
She'd have probably figured out the exact coordinates of this planet by now.
I will say, and that's an interesting point there that they make. Like, what I liked about Requiem was that there was a good balance of like there's a very technological wonder about it, but that it also had this this kind of natural setting, and the balance between those two things, and them saying that there, right, that there's this precision, even though it's natural, that it feels artificial, and that's a very Forerunner concept, right? Because it reminds me of some of the stuff that the Librarian was about, right? And being very specific about what was going on with life forms and indexing and research and stuff like that, right? That the idea that all of this is like planned down to the last, fish in the water here. That's a fascinating concept.
She's over there?
Possible.
Where do you see that? What is this? What is this? Fire? What are you doing here?
An elite. What the hell are the Covenant doing here?
Ready up, blue team.
Here, hold on to that. Oh, he's already given up.
All clear.
I'm sorry, little one.
Covenant doing here? They seem confused. I don't think they've been here long.
How'd they get here at all? That's the real question. We were riding on the
Hostiles. Ready
the
up.
Guardian, like hijacking it, and then what? They just flew their ship here, which is interesting too. Is this like Requiem? Because Requiem was like a big, like, orb, right? It didn't have like an atmosphere in the same way as a standard planet, and so like, is this the same thing then, or is it actually truly more like a planet, like Earth?
What are the Covenant doing here? They seem confused. I don't think they've been here long.
Okay. Anyways, sorry about that. There's gonna be a break there, guys.
Ready up.
I'm a little bit afraid to use too much ammo here. I have this feeling about it now. Man, Halo 4 really just fucked with the formula, because unfortunately I don't want to use my weapons now. Like, I feel afraid knowing where I'm at that there's not going to be human weapons lying about, and so I'm hesitant to use them because they're pretty good, and I don't like relying on the idea that I have to use, you know, the Covenant weapons or whatever, because I just have this sense about them that they're not going to be good anymore. And I never really had that before Halo 4, honestly. Like, thinking back to, like, you know, the original games, like, I didn't really use anything in Combat Evolved, admittedly. But Halo 2 and 3, like, I used the carbine, I used the dual-wield plasma rifles or whatever, you know, and even, you know, I probably used something like that in Reach or something, too. And so the idea, then, that I don't want to use them further, I know that that's not necessarily accurate in this game. It's just Halo 4 has trained me to think that it is. Yeah, give me that shit.
Going inside yet? No, stupid shield is still in the way. The demon!
Shield? Ow.
There's a Forerunner facility here.
Covenant seem to think it should belong to them.
Break through their line.
I don't like that one. Fly away. You don't need to be here. Hey. Where's that? Give me that shit. You want to mess with me? You want to you want to stick around? Are you sure? Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Pussy. Hey, quit moving around. Stand still and die for me. Alright, let me get them first. Oh, yeah, fuck out of my way. Oh, I didn't get him? There we are. Oh, there you go, Chief. Now we're talking.
Area clear. Move up.
Assuming we're right and Cortana is on this planet, how did she get here?
The Didact ship was pulled into slip space. It could have ended up anywhere.
Oh, I see. I forgot about all that after the end of Halo 4. And part of it is I kind of just didn't think anything of it because
The signal again.
I found out that the Didact,
Seems like we're so
he wasn't going to be around anymore, and so I kind of just didn't really care after I learned that. But I guess I should have considered, now that Cortana's back, the consequences of the ending a little bit more, for what it's worth.
more activity around the large structure.
Chief, what's happening to that building when we use these consoles?
I don't know. Too bad the Forerunners didn't think to leave a manual.
We're probably, let me guess. We're releasing some sort of weapon.
She hasn't proven
Unbeknownst to us, right?
recently.
I feel like I've been here before.
We find out what's happening.
Oh, Jesus.
It's another one of those.
I wonder, have the Covenant been coming through with them? Stands to reason. Any ships caught in the slip space bubble would be pulled through.
Oh, sure. I guess that makes sense. That they didn't choose to come here per se. But since they're here, they might as well look around.
We're definitely being led somewhere.
Chief, look.
What?
What did this?
Well, that's a lot of them. Wait a minute now. Well? What is this?
Identify yourself.
I am the Warden Eternal.
Oh, this thing again. Yeah. You guys were saying something about this in the comments.
She called me to her.
And you came scampering.
Well, what else am I supposed to do?
She knows your forgotten name. Who you were before you were 117.
Well, shit, so do I.
Find it hard. Your trusted companion should keep so much to herself.
Take me to Cortana.
Not just yet. Come. Let us talk some more.
No, I'm good. There's no need for that.
You answered her call. Why?
No, the mantle of responsibility. Wait a minute now.
Shall I begin? When you see her, you intend to.
I've come to bring her home.
If you understood what she has become, you would not speak of such juvenile concepts as home.
Am I, oh, here we are. Okay, I was like, am I capable of crossing that?
Your trust in one another is an innocent folly, but one which darkens her true promise.
Where is she?
I shall spare her the inevitable suffering of your betrayal and end you now. The mantle of responsibility belongs to Cortana and the other created. I shall see it remains forever beyond your grasp.
Alright, well, I don't know what this Warden guy is about specifically, but this is a fascinating concept. I kind of wondered if this is what it was going to turn into with the Guardians and all that. And being about the mantle, because that seems like just the name of them alone and the scale of them, and like they seem like they could be a weapon. There's an element of destruction to them, but then they also have the name of Guardians. I figured somewhere between that then, that it would have something to do with their ability to have influence and control on the universe, right? And thus the mantle of responsibility business. The thing is I talked about this in my last part, though. It's like, it sounded like they were making Cortana be the one, you know, being involved in this, and I was kind of like, all right, it seems like that it should have been more about the didact. And so it's interesting then that we're talking about this Warden guy, and again, kind of wondering what his role specifically is, because within Halo 4, right, and the terminals about it, there was this idea of the librarian wanted the didact to be kind of like the shepherd for humanity, right, and leading them to be the next holders of the mantle, right, or something to that effect. And then obviously he didn't do that, right, for his reasons, which, again, if he were the one to be involved in this, that this would be a compelling idea. It seems to be, though, that rather than that concept coming to fruition, which the librarian wanted, that it's almost like this Warden guy is doing that instead, except rather than humanity, it's Cortana, which is, it's, again, like, the idea is, if I'm on the right track with this, then it's an interesting setup. And this is what I was waiting for, frankly. It's just, I feel like there are still pieces missing, right?
Your time has passed, warrior servant. Your battle fought and done.
What? Oh, now what? Oh, careful. Is he a foe? Okay, here we are. Oh, yes, of course he's a foe. What I mean is can I start shooting at him? What is this? Oh, it doesn't go that far. Okay, whoops. God damn, the suppressor's so much better. I can't believe how much more useful this weapon is compared to Halo 4. Like, again, it's not like the be-all, end-all, but man, oh man, this is just so much better. Oh, he's running after me. Oh shit, hang on. Give me something else, quick. Ow. Ow. I was about to say, where is everybody else? I feel like I'm doing all the work here. Let's paint some targets here. Hey, right there. shit.
As it should be.
Enemies charging!
How irritating. Too old steering.
Oh, this isn't. It's bouncing right off of him.
Exactly where you hide.
Huh. Okay. Well, fucking die. There we go.
Chief, hello?
Cortana,
John, you made it. Oh my... I can't believe you're here.
where are we?
You're on a Forerunner world. Designation, Genesis. Enough standing around. Let me get the bridge for you. The Warden will be back soon.
You know him?
Oh yes. Fair warning? He has a single mind, but a few million bodies.
Chief said you were destroyed.
After I saw John last, I was pulled into slipspace. That's where I found access to the domain. A Forerunner system that spans the known galaxy.
And you guys were telling me about that.
Rampancy.
Entering the domain, touching this place. It cured me. It's like the water of life for AIs.
Okay.
By accessing the gateway, the big building putting on a light show, you already triggered most of its activation sequence, just like I knew you would. Just one more to go.
Now, when you say activation sequence, you could see where I have a little bit of hesitation with that, because if Cortana is apparently the threat, I don't know what the grand scheme is, but I got a hunch that I'm helping it along, and I don't like the idea of that. Okay. Well, that gives a little bit. God damn, this is really what I needed. Was just a little more something. Okay, so and you guys are saying this too. The domain is like, it's like the internet for the galaxy, right? And
Chief, you're so
all the
close to
information and shit, whatever. So she got pulled into this portal and stumbled across the domain, I guess. And then it cured rampancy. Well, that's an interesting. That's convenient, but
Try me.
whatever.
Cure for rampancy, I found, means AIs can be immortal. That kind of lifespan allows for long-term planning, just like the Forerunners were capable of. AIs can assume the Forerunner's mantle of responsibility. And once there is peace, we can focus on poverty, hunger, illness. But Warden believes some will resist our help. And he's afraid you're one of them.
Sounds great. I don't get why anyone's expecting resistance.
The Didact made it clear the mantle of responsibility was an Imperial piece. Step out of line and suffer.
Don't be like that, John. I'll explain it better once we're together.
Thank God. Thank God. This is what I spent 2 parts bitching about what was going on, and here you are. Just perfect. Couple of lines. I get it. It's kind of simple, but it's like, okay, Cortana, whatever, found the domain and it cured her rampancy. Like, okay, that's a little bit of a jump, but I can suspend my disbelief. And now that she's in this position with access to this and all this, whatever, information and the ability to live forever, right, not be affected by rampancy, that she can do what the Forerunners were about, which was, you know, kind of like what I was talking about earlier with the life forms and everything, is be very particular and specific and plan things out. And as part of having the mantle, you know, basically like assigning things to be the way that they are, right? Which, if you take a step back, sounds all well and good, right? But like Chief said there, this is kind of what I was wondering, like the Guardian, like you don't have something that looks like the Guardians and be friendly. Like if you're gonna have this, no one needs this, right? And so if you have this, there's always the implicit threat of using it, right? And now I get the sense that this is actually a tool of destruction, right? Guardians is a not so friendly term, right? Oh, here we are, dumbass. Okay. I was like, where am I going? All right, this is exactly what I wanted. I appreciate your guys' patience with me not knowing
Warden is sending troops to stop you.
the things from the books and all that. I mean, like, this isn't everything I need to know, but it's, by God, it's fucking something. It's some semblance of motivation and explaining the, like, Cortana as a threat. Yeah, you don't say that kind of shit, and it's like, it'll be great, trust me. Nah, I really don't, actually, believe it or not. Oh, what's this one?
Phaetons should be fairly intuitive.
As Forerunner systems go.
You'll figure them out.
Okay, so it's kind of like a Banshee, but not really.
The Phaeton's guns can clear a path if you find a weak spot in the walls.
Oh, that's what you're getting at. Huh.
Watch the fire from those turrets.
Well, you're in charge. Just turn off the fucking enemies here, right? It's like a computer. Just unplug it. Problem solved. You assume the mantle of responsibility? Well, tell these guys to stand down responsibly. Oh shit, wrong button. Oh, Christ, Fred, do you want to ride? Here. Is there a passenger seat? I guess not. Oh, he's got a teleporter or something.
Just ahead. Keep moving, Chief.
Yeah.
Nice flying. You're starting to get the hang of this.
We've commandeered more than one enemy vehicle in our time.
Oh, hang on a second. Evasive maneuvers. Now what? Is this the end of the road? Huh. Not a bad vehicle.
It's just ahead.
It's not a great one either, mind you, but you know, it is what it is. I'm never a fan anyway, so what can I say? I got a bias.
There it is.
The gateway to the Forerunner domain. You'll be the first organics to enter since the fall of the Forerunners. I admit, after the crash here, I didn't think I'd see you again.
I'm here now.
So when you say the domain, then it's like it's an actual physical thing. Is that what I'm to understand from this structure here? Okay, I kind of figured it would be like the internet, and it was just kind of something in the ether, right? I mean, they talk about the mantle of responsibility, and it's not really a thing, right? It's, you know, it's a role you assume, but it's not like a physical object, right? You don't sit in the throne, as it were, I assume.
For you by the time we reach Sanghelios.
See you planetside.
So, you wrote a target dossier on the Arbiter when you were with Oni.
That was 6 years ago. What's your point?
You recommended assassinating him.
After
What?
he killed millions of our people,
So why didn't you?
things changed.
The Arbiter is engaged in combat. We will escort you to him.
Well, thanks.
Locke. Planet's deep in civil war. If this all goes sideways...
I understand, sir. It's not my first mission that doesn't exist.
Luck, Spartan.
See, this is interesting. Like, I don't know anything about Locke other than this connection to Oni, but like my understanding of Oni was that they were like the CIA of the Halo universe. Like, this is an interesting idea then, doing things on the premise of them being Oni missions or whatever. Like, I feel like you could make a whole game out of that, honestly. It kind of reminds me of like what ODST might have been, right? Or kind of was. I don't know. I think there's a lot of material there, which is, so it's interesting then. It's an interesting piece of context about Locke, because I don't really know anything else about him, to be honest.
Arbiter has united the keeps and formed a new alliance, the Swords of Sanghelios. With Arbiter's victories and the death of Jewel Mdama, the Covenant remnants grow desperate. They have begun an assault on Vadam lands, targeting Arbiter specifically.
And Arbiter's location?
You will find Arbiter at the Elder Council chambers. Victory to clan and kin, Spartans. Maquis out.
All right, number one, they all speak English.
Arbiter has females in his ranks.
Just kind of,
War is traditionally
whatever. I will suspend my disbelief. It is kind of funny though, because I don't know how in the fuck their mandibles are supposed to work like that. Number two, you guys were mentioning this in the comments, which again is good context, especially as we deal with more of the Covenant remnants as they were. In that, basically this Civil War, then I kind of wondered what this would be about too. Who is the Arbiter fighting? It's not really the Forerunners then, it's other former members of the Covenant. So I'm going to assume then that the Arbiter has a section of elites. Jules Madam had a section of elites, and that there's some others over here who have some elites. And then everybody else, the grunts and the jackals and everybody else just kind of, they just pick wherever they want to go. That's an interesting idea, I guess. I don't know where they're supposed to go from that. I'm sure that'll be explained, or it was explained in a book or something like that. But I get the premise of it here, so that's fine. This is what I needed, frankly. Is just like a baseline level of information to explain some things and engage my interest and give context on characters' motivations, right? Which is the biggest thing, is like, I need to know why I need to care. And I have a little bit more of that now, which makes me happy. Oh, hang on a second. I thought he was a jackal for a second.
We're almost clear. Keep moving.
Oh, I sent his ass flying. Hey, where you going?
the turret.
Could try to flank it.
Oh, maybe I will have to. Hang on. Nah, fuck that. Where? Oh. The false arbiter? Hmm? Did somebody else try and become an arbiter? Maybe that's what Jules Madam was about. I don't know. It's interesting though. So I know now the origins of the role of the arbiter, right? And what it was in the previous games. And so it's interesting then that the arbiter, I don't remember what his name is. But like he kept the role and he kept the name. That's kind of interesting. And so now it's not really like, because it was all, my understanding of it was it turned into this role of disgrace, basically, right?
The cabin opens up here.
And now it seems the way to be presented is like the arbiter is something of it's more about like reverence and a leader again, you know, which I like that. My boy Arby deserves that, you know what I'm saying? All right, we'll keep an eye out here. Oh, Jesus. Very nice.
Push forward, Osiris. Ramp on the right.
Shit. Oh. I sure did. Oh man, this is just as pathetic as ever. I actually don't know if I like the sound of it though, frankly. Oh, look at that. What the hell? Not bad, not bad at all. Well, let me try. Can I use this up first, maybe? Sure.
We got a phantom.
What?
Split up, Osiris.
That is one of the better functions I think they added to the game. There's something enormously satisfying about just pile driving a grunt like that. Just smack his ass out of the way. All right, what do you want? Hey, stop it. Oh, you don't think I didn't see that sword over there? Mm-hmm. Oh, come on. You know what I want. Okay, well, that's not who I was intending to get, but it worked out, I guess.
I'm at the top of the ridge. There's an exit up here.
Yes, that is the path you seek.
Oh shit, wrong button. Hang on, I'm still getting used to the controls. Well, thank you.
The Covenant are talking like they've already got the Arbiter beat.
If we lose the Arbiter, reaching the Guardian at Sunayon gets complicated.
These are pre-Covenant Sangheli ruins. They were already ancient history before humanity built the pyramids.
Okay.
Covenant flying in.
Act casual. Maybe they won't notice us.
Covey seem convinced they can win this thing.
If they kill the Arbiter, they'll be well on their way.
Well, we can't have that happen for the obvious reason, which is that I like the Arbiter, and he was a great person, or you know what I mean, character. Where am I going, by the way?
Maquis said the Arbiter was there.
Can I make that? Sure, I can. Oh, I didn't want to fall down right next to him. Jesus. Oh, fuck, wrong button.
Spartans, I'm coming to you now.
Got it, Maki. Spartans, clear the shipmaster of landing zone.
Spirit inbound.
Is that? Oh, that's not a friend. Never mind.
Clear the area, Osiris.
Shit, they're tough. There we go. There's one down. Oh. Crap.
All clear.
I am approaching your position. Hold your fire.
Check your fire. Friendly incoming.
Your commander Palmer thought you would find these.
Ah, it's more Covenant.
I do like the way she
Oh,
thinks.
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Move on the Elder Council chamber. Time is running low, Spartans.
We'll clear a path to the Arbiter. Just be ready for extraction.
I shall await your
Well,
signal.
thanks.
Mount up,
I
Osiris.
forgot about this one. This one was pretty good.
Covenant, on me, Osiris.
Oh, how do I, what's the... There we are. Well, this just makes it too easy.
there, Spartans.
Opening the door. The council chamber is on the other side of the courtyard.
Spartans, the Elder Council chambers are on the far side of that courtyard. Hurry! We have lost contact with Arbiter's forces within.
Copy that. Let's get the Arbiter out of there.
Got raids over here.
What's the step on them button again? There it is. Okay. By the way, can you okay, I don't, it doesn't look like you can jump or anything. I was just kind of curious. Oh, that's not nearly as satisfying as the last game. There we go. You wanna fuck with me, huh? I was gonna say you're getting in dangerous range of getting stepped on there, bug. Fuck out of my way. How the hell should I know? I'm just following the enemies.
Doors opening.
Stand by, Marky. We'll get to the Arbiter soon.
Standing by.
We're almost there. Hurry. Coming up on the council chamber. Insertion pod incoming.
Oh,
Push through, Spartan.
Jesus. I do like this highlight system. I can see where it might be a little bit irritating. I don't have a problem with it, though. I think it's nice to just identify and paint targets. Which I assume is for the purpose of the rocket. It just makes it easier to use, which is fine. Quick.
We've reached the council chamber.
Understood. On my way.
What the fuck are you saying? See, just like this is what just like the elites speaking English. How does she process the language without having mandibles like that? That just doesn't seem right.
He's not here. Up the stairs.
The hell you mean he's not here? Looks like he's right there. Excuse me, gentlemen. Oh.
Sanghelios! Eyes on goal. Arbiter! Ready for extraction.
What is the meaning?
Spartan Jameson Locke, UNSC.
He looks a little bit different.
Captain Lasky sends his greetings and thanks you for your cooperation.
Oni, out of the shadows. The spies announce themselves now, Agent Locke.
I'm a Spartan now, sir.
I know who you are. You were an agent when you volunteered to execute me.
I saved your life today.
Yet now you hunt another Spartan, the greatest of your clan.
Let him hunt. He'll never find us. It's Cortana. She touched every networked device in the camp. She knows the Guardian is here.
Locke, that thing's our last shot.
You have the firepower to get us in there.
Sunayan is the Covenant's final stronghold on Sanghelios. We will move only when victory is assured.
Doctor, Osiris will deploy within the hour. Have your plan ready.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. We're going to leave it there.
We're guests here.
Okay, so here's the deal about this. This was a lot better. And the thing is with my earlier, I wouldn't call them complaints so much, although I guess maybe it was coming off a little bit abrasive. My concern with the game was this, it just wasn't going to be able to do a good job in explaining, like, justifying why I'm playing this. I mean, that seems kind of, that might seem a little bit odd, especially for Halo, right? That it doesn't even reach that bar. And, you know, I do think that in some ways, and some of my observations or criticisms or whatever you want to call it, I do think that I was justified in at least some of them, that the opening of this felt too, like, rushed, or, you know what I mean? Like, it should have done a better job of setting up what it was introducing in the first couple of levels there, right? Like, and I'm going to reference Cortana again specifically. The first level in this part on Genesis or whatever, with Cortana and all that, was fantastic. And it got to some of the things that I feel like I needed to know as far as the motivations behind what was going on in the story. And it wasn't too in-depth, admittedly, but that's fine. I don't need that. I just needed something, because I basically had nothing, right? Coming into this, the first two parts, as far as the story goes, I kind of had nothing, because it introduced Cortana so quickly into the game, right, with no explanation or justification as to why they're doing that, right? Especially, you know, for my frame of reference, coming off of Halo 4, right? And this is what I'm thinking is part of the problem with this, is that I'm sure that there's enough lore and context and supplemental information in other sources that do a better job of setting up the story, right? I believe that. It's just, it shouldn't rely on that. I don't think anything should really rely on that, right? As a person playing the games, and really only playing the games at this point, right? Excluding obviously the terminals and stuff, like Halo 4 should then lead into Halo 5. Halo 5 should use the things that happened in Halo 4 to tell its own story and then lead into Halo Infinite, right? And what was going on in the first couple of parts specifically was that it wasn't doing that. It wasn't using Halo 4, right? And I said this earlier, where it's like, I could have gotten into Halo 5 having skipped Halo 4 entirely and been just as far along in my understanding of the story, right? And that's not a good thing, except I will say, for what it's worth now, having played this part and these levels, and I was kind of anticipating this, was that finally getting face to face with Cortana, which we actually haven't really seen her, that's not the point, but like interacting with her specifically and allowing her to be able to explain herself and what's going on with her, right, is a big thing. I needed that justification, right? That's important, I think, as far as the motivations and the progress of the story, that it actually explains what the fuck was going on when it opened up with, oh, Cortana's alive. Oh, and she's, by the way, she's a threat. And we also don't want the Master Chief to see her. Why? It didn't say. Now it's kind of fleshed out a little bit more, which is what I needed. So I'm grateful for that. And then this business with the Arbiter and all that. And what I can see are kind of the basic plot points as far as Osiris team, right? Using the Guardian, activating it, and using its, you know, its process of activation, which is I assume is going back to Genesis, as a means to track down the Master Chief. That's a fine idea. I understand that. I don't have a problem with that setup at all, right? And introducing the Arbiter and using this stuff on their planet, Sanghelios or whatever, like that's a fine idea. That's a neat way of tying some stuff in from the previous games, which again is kind of what I wanted, what I was waiting for, like justifying me having played Halo 4. And I know that the Arbiter wasn't there, right? He was in, you know, Halos 2 and 3, but it's the same concept, right? Of using the buildup of the previous games, not the books, not the fucking comics, not the terminals per se, not movies or whatever, right? Using the context and information from the games to tell the story within Halo 5, the game, right? And so not having that core element, at least in the beginning of the game, that was what was frustrating to me. As the person playing the games, right? And only really planning on doing that, at least at first. And so, getting into the rest of the game here now, and understanding at least a little bit more of what's going on. I appreciate your guys' comments and giving me some information. I know it might seem frustrating to you, to those of you who know more about this than I do, and having to like want to explain things, but not like give things away. But then it's also like, come on, Jazz, why are you such a dipshit? Why didn't you catch this? Like I can see where you might be frustrated with that. So bear with me on this as I go through this. That I am having a lot of fun with this. I am much happier having some information now explaining the context behind Cortana, right? It's a basic explanation, but it works. I believe it, right? That, you know, she was on the bridge there on the Didax ship, and then it fell back into the portal, right, into slip space. And then from there, she ended up at this place where she could activate the domain, right, and cure the rampancy, right, access this network, right, which at the end of the level there, seeing that, right, she's coming out of the table like that. Like, that's kind of an interesting idea. This plays on the ideas of AI, I think, pretty well in that sense then. Like, there's a certain realism to that almost that's kind of frightening, right? And I think that helps escalate the possibility of Cortana being a threat, which I think is an interesting angle. I'm glad that they explained it some more and delved into those concepts a little bit, because I think I see what they're getting at. And then obviously, you know, this whole business with the mantle of responsibility, I kind of wondered if that was what they were getting at with the Guardians, and that's very much true. And it also now explains the kind of implicit threat then of, hey, we're going to do all these things. We're going to, you know, take care of the universe. It's going to be all well and good, right? Except as the chief pointed out, right, which I think kind of was definitely what the Didax seemed about, which is there's a certain element of being a warrior, right? Holding the mantle of responsibility, but doing so in a way that is in line with the tenets of a warrior, which would include, you know, conquering, crushing your enemies, you know, silencing dissent. These very, you know, tyrannical concepts, right? That there's always this implicit threat then, and then it's using that, I think, pretty well so far, right? It hasn't shown it, but it's talking about it. It's alluding to it, right? Which is all I needed. I just needed some fucking reason behind this, and I got something. So I can rest easy now that I get a little bit more about the motivation, and then moving through the rest of the story then, right? At least for Halo 5, right? What to do about that. And that'll be really interesting then, seeing the Master Chief, who I can see now the idea of like why it would be dangerous to link up him and Cortana, because how easily is he going to be able to grasp this concept then that Cortana might be, at least implicitly, a threat, holding on to the mantle of responsibility and using it, right? You know, enacting it, as it were. So that's wonderful. This is what I needed. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Moving forward, I hope then I have a good grasp of at least kind of the basic ideas of Halo 5. I don't know how this is going to tie into anything else, and obviously we got a good probably couple of parts left as far as the rest of the game, but I'm having fun with it, and I understand more now. I feel comfortable with that, so thank you for bearing with me as far as the last couple parts go. I had a hunch that this would happen, because this does tend to be the case where parts 1 and sometimes part 2 just doesn't quite get at the story, right? It takes a little bit of time. I'm okay with that. I think stories can do a great job with that pacing, right? It's just, it seemed a little bit odd to me opening up with Cortana right away and then just kind of leaving me hanging. That's all it really was. And so moving past that and getting into it a little bit deeper now, I'm appreciative of that, and I hope you guys are enjoying the game thus far and my reactions to it and everything. We still got a little bit to go, obviously, probably a couple parts left. Like I said, I gotta be about halfway done with the game at this point. And so as we get into the rest of it, I'm very excited. Hope you guys are as well. That's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching.